Hello, this is for all of the noobs out there who do not know how to make maps. This is for the new editor, not the old, so yeah, so let's begin. So, what you want to do first is walls. So walls, most people, when they first start out, they make walls like this, and then like that, and then like that, and then like, like that, and then they make it all skinny, and then they just put random blocks everywhere like that. But my biggest pet peeve is when people make walls that go like this, and you see they do not intersect. See, now when it does not intersect, the walls look, like it's just like a block, and then it stops, and then another block comes, and then the outlines do not merge into each other. So the way you avoid that is you go like this, and then you go like this. See, you put them together, and then you go like this. You see? Now, if we were to go into like multiplayer or single player, you would see that these walls would merge into each other, unlike these, which would look more rugged and stuff. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you like some stuff you can do, which this is just like different things. Like if you want it to be like this, you can change like the stuff. But now what I'm gonna do is, okay, so I'm gonna delete this stuff down here, and we're gonna place it up here. So let's just keep that. Okay, so let's see, we're gonna spawn them up here. Okay, now when you see it, you'll see that they look like this. Okay, so they look like that. Health is 130, etc, etc. Team direction. Now, if you want to make a saw, I recommend doing it 200, but if it's like a wall map, I recommend, like snipers, I recommend doing 130 through 170, which is the basic one-shot kill. But if it's any lower than that, the fall damage is gonna be severe, like you just touch the ground and poof, you die. So I recommend doing like 140 if it's for snipers. And then what you want to do is you want to type it and then press enter, which will save it, as you see down here. And then just do both of those. And then if you want to change the team, which I recommend if you're doing a sniper match, I recommend not using alpha but just using beta and gamma, because if it's alpha, that's like a little OP because they can't collide and stuff. So yeah, but if it's a saw, you can do it like that. Now left just faces him left, and right campaign. Now this is the skin you want to use. If it's a red and blue, just choose one of these you want them to use. Now this is for coop only, cooperative, but if you want it to be single player, deathmatch or team deathmatch, it'll do any skin the player has on. So yes. Alright, now let's move on to doors. Okay, so like this. Now, some people use doors for like, saws when you want the door to go up or down, or yeah. But they also use it for invisible doors. So you go down like this, and then visible. You change it to no, and the door becomes invisible. Yeah, it's like invisible, so the player cannot see it. You see, it just does a little different animation. It's a little lighter than the other one. But yeah, so this is invisible, so it's like good for, like invisible, where you need a gun, and then you, like, this is the guns, by the way. You, like, use the gun to shoot at it, and then need to jump over an obstacle course of doors, like this. And then if you miss, you fall down to a pit of acid. But then, if you make it, then you get to the finish line. Woohoo! Now, I'm gonna show you how to do some doors. Okay, so it's pretty simple. You just grab a door, drag it as long as you want. Now, you want to make a region. Now, during this, I'm also going to be talking about regions. So you make a region. Now, this is what you want. If you want it so just when the player walks through it, like they walk through it, and then it activates, do player. And if you want it to use a key, so there's a button and you need to push it to activate, then just use key with button. Now, what you want to do is you want to make a trigger, and then you want to make a region the same exact size as this. And then you want to drag it down to wherever you want your destination to be. For example, I want it to go down right here. And then, so you just go like this, region. Activation trigger, you want to put the name of this trigger right here. So you just go like this, trigger 1. You see it gives you a little option, trigger 1, this is this right here. Now max scores is how many times you want to activate the door. Like if it's like, you want someone to be able to push it like 5 times, then they can push it 5 times. So let's just go down here, force, move a ball, A to region B. Now, let's see, door 4 to region 2. Now, you see, the door will go down here, right here. Now, okay, so what I'm gonna show you is another way you can do. So if you want it to, like, the dog to go into a loop, which I'm not gonna make obviously here, but you just go activation on by movable. As you see in this trigger, it says force movable. This is when it gets activated by a movable, which example is the door. So you just go like this, and then let's see, trigger 2 will activate the door, and it'll, oh my god, I'm out of breath. You just make the same thing, and then you go over here, and then you drag it all the way over here, for example, and then you just activate this, like so, and then let's see, force movable, door 4 to region 4. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can copy and paste something. Like, for example, if you want like a symmetrical map, you just go down and then make this like this. Yeah, then you go like this, and like this, okay, like this, and then a little bit like this, and that, for example. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to drag your mouse across it like so, and then you want to press the control button, and then you want to press C. As you see down there, it says objects copied to clipboard. Now what you want to do is control V. Now if you do control V, it'll just copy it, and then you just click and it places it, as you see. Now another thing you can do is you can change it. Like, this is a good example, but let's say if it has a thing up here, and then you just do it again, you drag it, and this time you don't want to do control, you just want to press H, and you see the map will flip around, and then you press V and it'll flip upside down. So left, right, yeah. So V for vertical, H for horizontal. Alright. Boop. Bop. Alright, now I'm gonna talk about water. If you want to do water, for example, you just, oops, I didn't mean to do that, one moment. You just go like this, and oh god, why am I keep doing that? Okay, you go over here to this water animation, then you go over here, and then you place it. Now, if you want to make it like look like you have a current or something, or like it gets deeper, just keep doing it, and then you see it'll get deeper once we are done. You see it's gonna look a little bit deeper, than like gets darker as the further you go down. So yeah, but what I like doing is, like, if it's like you're in a saw and you're going like through a sewer, I like going like this and making it look like the current is actually coming out like this, you see. Then I can like giving it some bubbles like right there and stuff to make it look like if you like open the door, then you'll see the water current come out. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like you see, and then just continue it down here like so. Yep, okay. Now another thing is, people like always don't like, how do you change it to acid? You just go over here and you just change it. Now this is like 1, this is 1 damage a second, this is like 20 damage a second, this is 50 damage a second. So I like doing, if it's for saw and you have like 150 health, I like taking it to 2 damage per second, which gives you about nearly 10 seconds to live. So I'll just drag that over there, then I'll take it over here. Okay, now the next thing is triggers. Okay, now what we're gonna do with triggers is you just place one, and then you want to go to action type 1. Now this gives you a list for everything. You can either change like the speed, you can show a text like this, I'm sexy, like so, and then you can like put a region over here to activate the trigger like this. Now as you see, when you go through this, you just press player, and then you go to trigger, and then the trigger will activate saying I'm sexy. Now you can either put it by no lime, or you can do your own custom color, which I'll do. For example, you just FF6600 like so, and then I'll do it like orange, I think. And then you also, if you want to make an explosion, you can do it with the region you want. You get to choose the region. Let me just say make an explosion region 6 with damage. This is the amount of damage the player will take, 10 I suppose. Okay, now that'll do that. And then you can also change the speed of the game, for example 30. Now the normal is 30, so I like doing either half or less, like 10. I like using 10 a lot. So then once you go there, it'll activate. Now if you want to take it back a little bit, and then you want to change the speed, so it's like some epic gunfire. So it's slow motion. You just want to go over here, make this, and what I recommend doing is I like putting it under a few blocks so that it activates when you walk across it. So if it was like this, it might glitch out and you might need to jump to activate it, so I like putting it down a little bit. So let's just make another one like so, and then let's see, activation player. Actually, I'll make it a button like so, and trigger 7, which will take it back over here, and then you can do 30 and then take it back, oops, take it back to 30 like so. Now, one of the last things I'm going to show you is engine marks. Now, engine marks aren't activated by regions or anything. They're activated right as you spawn. So, for example, if you want to spawn with some, let's say, a different sky, it'll, like, the normal sky, you know, everyone, it's like this. So, it'll spawn as, like, a desert. Or you can put the amount of grenades you want for someone to have. Like if you want 6, that gives you 6 grenades, that's a full ball of grenades. But if you want them to have unlimited grenades, just put like 5,000 or something. What I like doing is 3 or 5 or 6. You can also do port grenades, which are teleportation of course, which I like doing like 2 or something. I actually normally don't put, but shield grenade, I mean teleport grenades. But I also like doing is I like for swords and stuff, I like them not to have guns, I mean swords. So you just go down here to disable PSI swords, and that's that. Okay, now you have a gun, etc, etc. Now the last thing I'm gonna talk about is timers. Now, timers can sometimes be a pain because you need to make a region in the very beginning, deactivating it, so then it activates when you want it to activate. Or if you want, you can just make it activate during the beginning. So let's say you just place a timer, and then right as you place it, right as you spawn, the timer will start going. So 30 is 1 second, so I normally like doing like 200. And then you want to make a trigger, so when it hits the timeout, when it hits 200, which isn't 200 seconds, it's like 5 seconds, you want it to activate trigger 6, which are move a door. Let's say there's a door right here, it'll just move this door right up here, for example, and let's just change the speed to 5. Okay, now let's see, door 6 to region 10. Now this door will go up here in a merely 5 seconds. Now if you want it to activate, like want the region to activate at a few seconds, you just put something right here, and then you put another timer like so, then you put a trigger, actually 2 triggers actually, so like this. So then once you walk right here, the timer will activate, and let's say it's 200 seconds, and then wait 1 sec, you gotta activate this first. So then once you walk into it, trigger, and then you go over here, and then you want to activate trigger 9, which is right here, and then trigger 9 will activate the timer. There's an option right here that says activate timer, and then you just, it'll activate the timer right here, timer 2, and then timer 2 is 200, but on the timeout it'll activate trigger 3, which will say, you can do anything with the timer, I'm just doing chat, meow. So now, yeah, but the pain is you need to make a trigger at the very beginning of the map, deactivating the trigger, or else they'll activate right as you spawn. So yeah, so just make a trigger, which I want this one to activate right as a spawn, but then I want it for this one to wait until you enter the region, and then the timer will start ticking. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so you press right as you spawn, this will activate, timer 1 will activate, and then right as you walk into this region, timer 2 will activate. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna make sure that when you spawn, timer 2 won't activate. So let's just go over here and deactivate timer A, and then there. Okay, now it should work. So yep, no, let's just go into the game real quick. Alright, now we're here, so let's just start the game up, checking for map. Okay, now here we are, we spawn. See, this is bad, this is good. You see how the walls do not intersect, but see, now we grab the gun and that activated. Now let's see, invisible walls, you might see the thing, see, it's invisible. So let's just jump, and we lived. Okay, now let's just go, see, activated when we walk through there. Okay, now jump. Okay, now let's just go over here, activated, and then it activated. Good, now you see it changed over there. Good, you see it gets darker over here. Let's just go over here, and yes, now it's gonna activate a timer, and you see that's 2.3 seconds to die. So yep, so I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, you're welcome. Goodbye. Adios.